All right, so last part for now, and then I'm going to take a break with Jennifer Hendricks. Wow, wow, just amazing how her thinking is so backwards and twisted. So the next thing she says, my glasses are kind of breaking, but that's okay, I can still use them, is basically that, let me see, parental consent is, no, wait a minute. Informed consent is an intrusion by the state. That the state has set up all these barriers so that women can't have an abortion because the state thinks it's bad for women. And when they start nitpicking at the medical facilities and saying how big their walls or their doors need to be and how they have to have all this stuff, it's just a guise. It's just a way for the state to control a woman's body because, you know, all this stuff really doesn't matter, whether how big the door is or whatever. From what I've heard on the streets, and I think it's true, I had met a girl who was in a local abortion clinic, and it was filthy, she said. Absolutely filthy. And the state does have a right to regulate businesses. And she goes on to talk about how the abortion industry is being accused of being in it just for the money. And it's true, they are in it just for the money. And even if they're in it at some level to say, you know, no, we're in it to protect our rights. The point is, she says that if this was any other procedure, people would not be saying they're in it for the money if this was in any other context. Well, you know, the truth is there's no other procedure that compares with abortion. I mean, why would you be killing children for the sake of money? I mean, money is not really the guiding principle here, or it shouldn't be the guiding principle. I mean, with most other operations and stuff, it's to bring health care to people. It's to help them live a better life. But when you are actually taking money to kill babies, I think there's truth to it. Even in the sense of saying, well, I'm a feminist and I want to, you know, have a right to do this. It still isn't the same kind of context. There's no other context where you're killing a baby. You can't compare it just to a business who wants customers. And that's what she's trying to do here. She's just trying to say it's just a business and we just want customers, and there's nothing different with this than other procedures that people do. There's a big difference. You're killing a life, and no matter how much you want to downplay it or dismiss it or just kind of sweep it under the rug that it's not really serious, abortion is totally different, and it's usually not done by a respected professional. I know when I was on the sidewalks, it was done by I think a lot of people called him a butcher. I mean, I don't even think that he was licensed. So how do we think that a profession where you have respected doctors who have studied for years medicine to save people's lives can be compared to a butcher who is just taking a life and hasn't had all that experience? So I'm taking a break from this malarkey, and you know, it's really important to know what you believe. And I was listening to a sermon, part of it today, where dogma is on the streets. Dogma is not dogma, doctrine. Dogma can be doctrine that is too black and white, but on the streets, doctrine matters. How are we being indoctrinated? How are we being persuaded? When I was in New York the other day, I saw this billboard of these big overweight women saying numbers don't define us. And no, numbers don't define you as a person. But should you lose some weight? Yes. I mean, we're in a culture right now where anybody thinks that you have to accept certain things. I think I think it was Michael Knowles, I'm not sure. I think it was that show, and I love that show, where he was saying there's this discrimination law now about people's hair, that you can wear your hair any way you want, and if you tell somebody they can't, it's hair discrimination. And I can't believe lawmakers are making such stupid rules as this, but when you're in certain companies, you need to have your hair short or up so that the hair doesn't get in the food. And so not everything is acceptance. And just down the road in New York, I saw another billboard that said, "This was me, and now this could be you, 35 pounds lighter." So we know that when people are overweight, if they lose weight, it's important. People pay people to teach them how to lose weight. So, just where is the information coming at? We are bombarded with information every single day to believe this or to believe that. And we need to really take every single thought, every single thing that comes our way, be able to discern whether it's true, whether it's right, whether it's good, and be able to say, okay, I either accept this or I reject it. And based on your doctrine and what you believe really does matter in life on how you live. Your behavior will be affected. So this is kind of why I think it's important to debunk certain false stuff, brainwashing. It's not that I'm being mean or vicious. It's that this is wrong. It's wrong, the stuff she's trying to push. It's wrong that this kind of stuff is being pushed in our schools. And, we need to be able to be prepared and equipped to be able to battle this stuff so that people can live. Like I said, a little baby, a little sweet baby I held today. This is why we fight, for the little babies that want to live. No one has a right, depending on the location of whether they're in their mother's arms or their mother's womb, to kill a child. So this is why we battle. This is why we as pro-lifers battle for those babies and for the mothers too, so that they can enjoy motherhood. So many women are going to regret not being mothers. And, like I shared with someone today, I can tell you the effects of having an abortion affect you all of your life. And this is someone like I've had, as a Christian, I'm saved, and I've done tons of work on dealing with, all aspects of abortion, whether it's broken relationships, whether it's the shame, the rejection, feeling like God is punishing you if you can't have kids for a while. There's just a whole aspect of abortion. So with me healing, and it's taken this long, I cannot imagine, although it affects my life, I've had a lot of healing. I cannot imagine the kind of help that women are going to need who are being thrown into abortion like it's no big deal, like you're getting a tooth pulled. These women who are teaching other women wrong doctrine, they're teaching them behavior that's evil to go have abortions. They are hurting these women in such destructive ways. I had a conversation with a lady the other night, and we were talking, and I was sharing the abortion that was forced on me as a teen. And it's so healthy to talk about this. So she said, all I heard was, "Oh, you were too young, you were too young." Well, she said, "Did anyone ever think you were too young to go through abortion?" And that's so true. And again, when she was saying that, I don't think I could do it, but at least nowadays she was saying that if you're a minor, you have a right to not have your parents know. And I said, if these girls could know, if they had any idea the kind of effects that will affect you as you go through remembering abortion and healing from abortion, you would not have an abortion. So if you knew what abortion would do to you, just you, never mind your baby, you would never, ever, ever have an abortion, and you would want it outlawed also. So there's these women teaching all this garbage and wrong doctrine, and as Christians especially, but even as women, we need to help girls to know that they don't want an abortion. It's not a real solution. It's a band-aid, a quick band-aid to a situation that doesn't even have to be a problem. So once you become a mother, you realize what a blessing it is to be a mother, and you would never ever want an abortion. And just because you're going through hard times doesn't mean that you want an abortion. So this is what I got for now, and I will probably start getting into the abortion stuff again. I stopped looking at it for a little bit with Instagram, but there are some really strong Instagrammers out there who really come right out with it, and kind of looking at the news and looking at what's going on with abortion, and kind of staying abreast with everything is important. So I've taken a little break because of everything that I've had going on in my life, but I'd like to get back to that and continue being a voice for the unborn. Okay, thanks guys.